be a bit loud.
So, how do you find the venue and the event so far?
Well, we understand everyone almost caught fire. So
we've been trying not to mention that.
So everybody's got in there, and it's fantastic. It's great to see a lot of fans. It's great to see. And to follow that.
Yeah.
Wow, man! I'm really sorry we followed that. I was hoping we'd probably go on after, before John, so then you wouldn't be rocked out. But we'll do his best to try and entertain you. We'll see how it goes.
Excellent. How about you, Tim? How are you finding the event so far?
Well, this is my first time at Summer Sonic, and I have to admit, it's absolutely fantastic. It's just amazing to see all you guys here, see you guys playing the game, and it's amazing. I'll be coming back next year.
Awesome. Alright, so, moving on. Can you give us some background on how the development of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed began? Was it in relation to any responses from the original game, or what gave you the idea to take that direction for Transformed?
Well, really, I mean, what happened was the first game was kind of really successful and people really, really liked it. And what we saw on the forums were like loads of feedback of things that we should change or things they wanted to improve. And us at Sumo as well, we also had a lot of things we wanted to improve. You know, there were things we didn't quite get in the first game and the technology wasn't quite there for it. So we kind of sat down and went, okay, let's look at doing a sequel. We'll make a better job of it this time. We've learned all the mistakes in the first game. We'll make no mistakes this time. And we'll try and make a good job of it. But we thought, if we just did racing again, people would be going like, oh, it's just the same as the first one, you know, what can we do to make it different? And so, one of the guys at Sega, a guy called Simon Woodruff, who's kind of creative guys on it, he said to me, why don't we have like, you know, Land, Air and Sea? And we'll put it in. And I'm like, kind of Diddy Kong Racing's already done that.
We did have Banjo in the original.
We've seen Banjo today, he's around somewhere. He's over there, there's Banjo.
Banjo!
Give Banjo a clap. He's so very brave. Banjo. And Kazooie! Don't applaud that. So we basically said, okay, well, let's instead, let's try and get it all into one track. So you've got Land, Air and Sea on a track. And of course, when you do that, well, you think, well, you can't just drive a car on those surfaces. Let's get transforming vehicles in as well. So, and that's kind of how the game came about. A desire to improve on what's gone before. And of course, everybody moaned and complained, I'm not blaming you guys, that we didn't have enough variety in the tracks. And so what we've tried to do this time is make sure that every single track, all the new tracks, are completely new, completely different from so many different games. And also trying to get more IPs, more characters, and more fan service. And just trying to squeeze in as much Sega as we possibly can.
What was your reaction when Nintendo revealed Mario Kart 7 that introduced similar submarine and hang gliding vehicles?
We were sat in the room at E3 when Nintendo announced Mario Kart 7. And we were quite gutted because we'd been working on the game for at least a year then. And we thought, great, finally we're doing something where people can't go, oh, Mario's done that. And they went, oh, they've got hang gliders and they've got underwater. And I'm like, it's alright, we're going one better. We've got real flying, you know, you actually fly around the courses, you're in the air, you're not just falling with style. We've also got water. I mean, when we talk about the water, it's not just water, you know, you're on top of the waves, it's a dynamic surface, it's bouncing you around, you're using that to your advantage, you can leave guys behind with a spray, we can drop big massive things in the water, it all splashes and waves. And if you've seen the game today, obviously you've seen, it's not just water we've got in there, we've also got lava in there. Yes. And there's some other stuff as well. I mean, racing on lava, I mean, that's kind of unique, isn't it?
It's pretty new. I'll give you that.
I won't try it in the real world, it probably hurts.
I think really that's the thing from the design point of view, is that the actual real-time performing water and the kind of brand new physics system we've got in there give it such a huge, massive, detailed handling experience when you're playing it. It's not, as Steve says, falling with style. You are actually flying vehicles and you're bouncing around in the water and shooting your friends and causing ripples in the water and using that stuff to advantage, because you can, as you've seen in the demo, you can jump and do stunts off of that as well. So I think it just gives you such a massive kind of layer to, easy to pick up and play, but as you master it, you'll see there's more and more ways you can actually kind of take things to your advantage and win.
That's excellent. How challenging is it to get permission to use levels and characters from different games, especially long-lost ones from Sega's history that haven't been referred to or used for quite some time?
So, as with all these games, we've now worked with Sega for quite a long time, and we've been working with Sega since around 2004 when we did Outman 2. And Outman 2 opened the door to obviously working with AM3 to work on virtual tennis, and that opened the door, of course, to work on Sega Superstars tennis. And kind of back then we looked at a few IPs and the things we always wanted to game, but it didn't really make sense for the tennis game. I mean, for example, we've got Vice in there from Skies of Arcadia. Yes, I know that to please somebody. we've been trying to get him in for ages. But it didn't make sense. You put him in a tennis game, he's playing tennis, it's not in character. And so every game we've done, we've tried to look at ways we can broaden it. And especially with kind of landscape now, we're pushing it even wider so we can bring in new IPs which we've just not seen before. And we've really been lucky. I mean, we've been working with the great guys at Sega. I mean, Azuka Sound's here today, and John Chino as well has helped us out with music. And these guys, understand what we're trying to do. And then in many cases, when we've gone across, they've gone, well, why don't you put this character in as well? And we're like, oh, that'd be great. It'd be really great.
And so, go on with first.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fantastic for us, because, these are games we grew up. I mean, anybody in this room has grown up playing Sega games. And you'll have a favourite, the game you've always loved and you'd love to see a new information on. And it's allowed us to put these games characters into our game and try and give people like that remembrance, that nostalgia factor, and bring stuff back, which maybe hasn't been seen for a while. That's cool.
Yeah, it's as Steve says, that kind of rapport that we built up with Sega now gives us kind of quite a lot of ability to go to them with some of the more wacky and out there characters and say to them, look, we'd all really like to get this in there. And certainly, being able to sit there and look at the game and go, hey, Gillis is now in the game. It's kind of hard not to feel a bit giddy every day at work when you load that up and actually play around with them. So it's just, as I say, getting to work with some of the more weird and wonderful characters, and also because of the air and because of the water, that actually gives us a chance to look at some characters that wouldn't really suit a racing game normally, but we can actually take a look at them and go, oh hang on, we can come up with some really crazy stuff for that, and they end up in the game now. So it's just allowed us to go a bit, push everything a little bit further really.
Excellent. What's the general process in getting characters and levels involved? So is it quite stringent, or as you say, you connect with people from Sega Japan as much as Sega Europe, and the ideas are bandied about. Is it quite a lengthy process, or is it?
Well, the way we kind of went about it is we had various ideas of what we wanted to do with certain tracks, and so we said, okay, let's look at a video game thing. So this one might be like a Sunshine thing, or a Pilot thing, or whatever it is. And then we look for IP to kind of match that stuff. And then, really, I just made a big list of all the stuff I wanted.
Big birthday list.
I quite jokingly told somebody once the character selection process, because we basically have a dartboard on the wall, and we just pin all the characters up.
Is it of Eggman?
No. We put a dartboard on the wall, and we just put it in characters, and then people would throw darts at it, blindfolded. And if it's a character I like, I say, yeah, you've hit one. And if they miss, and if they haven't, it's a character I like, and I say, no, you've missed. Do it again. And we just keep going until they get the characters I do want.
Excellent.
It's true, that.
It is generally true that there is a big dartboard just of characters we throw at stuff. But I think, finding those characters, really as well, we try to make sure that we've got a lot of Sonic characters in there, and then we also look at other characters from all the other Sega games and go, well look, these ones are fans' favourites, we really try and get these in. And they're also sort of the really other ones that we kind of sit there and go, I'd really love to just get him in there. I know nobody likes that one, but I want that one in there anyway, and we just make a great character out of it in the end. So I think this time we've got a kind of much more broad spectrum that kind of appeals to a much more wider Sega audience, as well as people who haven't even grown up with Sega games. But
so the All-Star moves are back in the multiplayer mode online. What kind of hurdles did you have to overcome to make that happen? Especially since in the original there was a lot of talk about balancing issues and lag.
We don't like to talk about that. So one of the things last time, obviously we got the All-Star moves in, we went completely to town with them. Every single one was different. I can see Supersonic down the front. Right. I'm always going to hit them, that'll be good. And one of the key things, obviously, we just basically ran out of time to make all those moves work online. We were trying to get the game finished, and we went, we'll have to sacrifice something. So on the top of the list for this one was All-Star moves have to be online. We want to make sure the online is much more well-rounded, there's all kinds of stuff to do, and maybe not just racing as well. So it was a #1 priority, and although we've not shown them that, when we do show them, I think people will be very happy.
Nice, excellent.
I think as well, we also wanted to use the All-Star moves more as well. It's an All-Stars game. The All-Star move is one of the biggest things that people see on it. When you play SSR, you might see an All-Star move a couple of times during the race, and we really wanted to make sure that this time you'll see it 3, 4, 5 times in a race and give everybody an equal chance of actually getting that. So yeah, you'll see that stuff coming out soon, but obviously I can't say anymore, or else I'll get the sack from him.
We might even have more than one going off at once.
So what would Steve Lycett's All-Star move be?
Something to do with beer. Lots and lots of beer.
Perfect answer. Moving
My
on.
reputation precedes me. I drink lots of beer and then I just fall over.
That's not a very good all-star move.
No. But it's true to life.
True. How different is it making Transformed than the original? I know we've commented about the differences there are between the engines, physics, obviously the different playing styles between the vehicles, but the actual process of making the game, from the creative side, from the technical side, what is there any more insightful changes that you could bring to the fore?
Yeah, I mean, this whole game has been built on a brand new engine, which has allowed us to do a lot more. I mean, we've got, I'll bore you with tech battle now. We've got a deferred rendering engine, which really means you can have lots of lights and all kinds of fancy flashy stuff for moving around. And on top of that, obviously we've got a brand new water engine. And really, the biggest problem we've had trying to make the game at the start was making land, air and sea equally good. What you found was, we know the land play works. We did SSR and we went, that's kind of good, we'll take that. We'll tweak it and make it a bit more interesting. For the water, we originally thought we could just flood the tracks, and that'd be fun. And it really wasn't. In fact, I've got a prototype where we proved this, where going downhill in the flooded water track was so annoying. It was really, really bad. And the same with flying. Once we opened it out, we basically set off with a level, a bit like Seaside Hill, as a prototype. And you take off and fly, and you had a blue sky, you could go anywhere. But then people stopped racing, because you could just go anywhere. And they just go off and explore, and I'm like, no, stop looking for Big the Cat. Get back and race, please. And so it's been a real struggle to pull those things together. And I hope when people play it now, they feel like it's seamless and it makes perfect sense. But it's taken a lot of work to make that happen. Really, I mean, you'll know.
Well, sleep, we just don't have that. It's a commodity we don't have. I think from kind of a process point of view, we took a lot of the stuff that we'd done before and kind of said, right, we'll improve how we make the art, we'll improve how we make the characters and do all that stuff. But also, as Steve says, from a lot of the core design, we actually just went back to the drawing board and said, right, well, we'll have an entirely new physics system. So we rebuilt the handling from scratch for all three surfaces. We've gone through the weapons and redesigned them to actually cater for those weapons and kind of sitting down.
Oh yeah, the weapons. Everybody complained about the weapons last time. Well, you get what you deserve this time, that's all I'm saying.
But it's like, it's one of those things where we sit down and go, look, what do people really want to do? Forget what the weapon looks like and forget what it does right now. Say, well, I want to hit multiple people ahead of me, or I want to defend from people around me. And it's really a question of us sitting down and kind of going through all that stuff. And from that, you start to see the weapons themselves start to come out. So while a lot of it got taken from the previous game, like the processes and practices, which allowed us to kind of polish everything up better, a lot of it also got rebuilt pretty much from scratch for this one. So
excellent. So any chance of Eggman going, get a load of this?
Well, every time we do one of these games, we go up to Sega and we say, look, what kind of samples and voice can we get? And there's a whole load of new stuff this time. But my personal favourite of all the games, still the VR, is we recorded a new set of speech for Gilius, who's this guy from Golden Axe. When I wrote the script, I said, right, this line, I want you to roar. And I just wrote roar down. And the guy in the studio, basically when he recorded it, just went, roar! He actually said it. And we got it back and I'm like, should we keep it? I'm like, yeah, put it in.
Okay, it's like the previous iteration of Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing, is there any plans on an arcade cabinet version?
I actually asked him this yesterday.
So this is brilliant. So when we finished the game, basically the arcade division approached us and said, do you want to make an arcade game out of it? We're like, yeah. Of course. Because it's weird. Because at SUMO, obviously, we started life converting Outrun from arcade to console. And we've almost gone full circle. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the arcade game, but basically, it's the first arcade game, and this is a Sega patent as well, where you control the entire cabinet. You can change the lighting on the cabinet, you can make it any colour. So when you're racing the Sonic, it's blue. When you're racing the Knuckles, it's red. And you can make it flash and go up and up. And then full force feedback, surround sound, the bass in the seat. When you turn it up, you can actually feel the car going on above. And we just had this thing in the corner in the room, and it was basically sending people mental. And it's burned. So, I'm still waiting for the phone call. But hopefully we'll get to make an arcade game out of it.
Excellent. Would you like to make a non-spin-off Sonic game? So contributing to a new canon game in the series instead of a spin-off?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing more than that, do you think?
Well, no, I mean, as with all these things, we're quite a long way to transform now, and as minds turn to, what's going to be next. And we've got various ideas kind of batting around the office. You know, there's ideas if you're doing an all-star game, they would make something with mechs or something. There's been a lot of call for people to like make a fighting game like Sonic Brawl Stars. I like the echo on that. That was cool. So there's all these ideas floating around, and you know, it's really we sit down and say and we go, well, which ones do you like? And they come back with just as many, and it's just trying to find the one which sticks. I mean, you've probably got more. Do you know? Don't even ask him this question; he'll be there all day.
Just give us a couple. I can't really give you too many ideas, or else he'll sack me again. But yeah, it's one of those things where, as Steve says, we come to the end of the project. We know we can see that there's a few months left for stuff to go through, and we do start sitting down and looking at All Stars and saying, well, right, what do we want to do with the future of All Stars? Do we want to do another racing game? Do we want to do something else with it? And yeah, we'd love to basically do more and more things and try and push the All-Stars brand with the styling, All-Star moves and all that kind of stuff. So into further and further things, really. We'd like to, but as Steve says, we're still waiting on the phone call.
Yeah, still waiting for the phone call. So you have already considered different sports and game genre types to spread out into. It's just waiting for...
Well, that's one of the things. I mean, when these games first get set up, Sega generally do a focus test and say to people, would you like to see a racing game? And I've seen artwork done on like football games, skateboarding games and things like that, paintballing games even. And it's really, paintballing, I don't know how that would work, how would that work? Like third person paintballing?
First person shooter Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that'd be unusual, wouldn't it? I don't think I want to go there. so there's lots of ideas, and it's really just making sure you pick the one which is going to give you the best chance to make the best game ever. And that's what
I think, by all means, you guys shout out on all the forums, websites as to what you guys want from the future of All Stars.
No,
definitely take a look.
Burning Rangers?
Steve, isn't there someone you've forgotten?
No, I don't forget.
I'm pretty sure he's forgotten someone.
I've not forgot anything. What would I have forgot?
Maybe this.
Oh, we should show this. So, did you like that? I'm glad, because I spent 4 hours making that video yesterday.
We do have something else for you though.
So yeah, basically this is an experiment. What I've got, Tim's basically got a recording device here, and what I want to do basically is try and get some cheers and crowd sound. And if it works and we manage to record it properly, we're actually going to put it into the game. So, I want to do just a couple of things. So basically, once Tim's confirmed his setup, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
It's about as ready as I'll ever be. So I want you to try to do a couple of things. So first of all, I want you to have a fantastic cheer like you've just seen a winner win a race. And I want this to go on for about 5 or 10 seconds. In fact, what I'll do, I'll stand. So I'm going to start it like this. I'll go, hey! And when I'm ready to finish, I want you to go, ooh, like that. Don't go, oh, just naturally fade out. Like I said, I can't promise it won't make the game, because if he makes a mess of it, then we'll kick him in afterwards. So, okay, I'm going to count. So we'll count down from 5. On 1, we'll start. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Yeah. Right, here we go. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, that wasn't so hard, was it? Okay, now the second thing I want to try, I apologise if there's Zuka sounds in the room, because one of the things I've tried to get into these games, every single time I've done a game, is I want to start the game with a classic Sega. But I've always had a problem. I've never had a crowd big enough to record it. So this is going to be difficult. And again, I can't promise it will make it into the game. We've warned Sega this will happen, so it's not a surprise. So we'll try it. Now what we'll do it a couple of times just to be sure.
Count 3.
And I'll do it, so we'll do it on the count of 3. And what we'll do, we'll go, Sega. Like that, so, Sega. So we'll have a quick test run. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Sega! That's pretty good. They were mostly in key.
They've been doing this for years.
If we had John and Johnny here, I'm sure they could do a better job than I can, but we'll try again. So we'll do it. We'll do it 3 times. Are you ready, Tim? Yeah. Are you sure you're ready? Yeah. If you mess this up, all these people are going to come and find you.
We know where you live! We know where you live!
So, yeah, in Sheffield. The office is easy to find, and he finishes work at 5:30.
When have I ever finished work at 5:30?
You will the day they're waiting. Okay then, so we're ready. 3, 2, 1. Sega! Number 2. 3. I'll wait for it.
Not premature.
3, 2, 1. And one more for luck. Here we go again.
Try making it harmonious.
Sega.
Not like that. Like a child.
Okay. Sega. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sega. I think that's the keeper. Okay, so that's brilliant. Hopefully I'll be able to get that stuff in. I was going to try and get you to chant all the character names, but then I'd have to tell you all the characters. I know. Shall we have a vote on it? No, let's not have a vote on it. Okay, so
That's all done. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Everyone!